everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to do the Under the Influence book tag. So I just saw this on Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand channel. It's been a while. And it was just such a fun tag. She did it completely off the cuff, like no prep, and you don't really have to have any books or anything for this. So I thought it would be a really fun thing to do because like pulling books out sounds fun, and I love talking about books. But as you can see, my bookshelves need some help, and so I don't want to make more of a mess. And I just thought this tag was really cool and really interesting to hear her answers. And so now I've let some time pass, they're not super fresh in my mind, so I can kind of be off the cuff with it also. So I will link Sarah's video down below as well as the original creator, and I'll put the questions down below. So if you have a channel, please answer these, and if you don't, some of them are kind of skewed towards creators, but let's just get into it and you'll see what I'm talking about. So the first one is, what's a fantastic book you read off the recommendation of another booktuber? So I don't know specifically, like maybe Jordan from Sorry Book Solid. I don't know specifically who I saw it from, but The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. I love that book. Like I gave it maybe 4.5 stars, maybe 5 stars. I don't know. And I just kept hearing about it on Booktube. And so I think I first heard it, maybe it was Jordan, I don't know, but I heard a lot of people talk about it, and so I definitely picked it up. It's not something I probably would have picked up without the influence of others, and so yeah. And then oppositely, what's a book that you were talked out of reading because of another booktuber's review? So I feel like there's been a lot. I'm trying to think, like, if anybody says it's flowery writing, it's slow paced, things like that, I will generally not read them. And so I know, like, Krista from Books and Jams, she sometimes, like, sheds light on things that I'm kind of on the fence about, and I know her taste as compared to mine. And so, like, sometimes maybe her, Gwen from Gwendolyn Kinsinger, I also take her advice a lot, just based, like, it's not, I don't think a specific book, although I am about to read Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine, and a lot of you guys, like you guys in the comments, have kind of said, I don't know if you're going to like this, and so I'm not going to not read it. I'm going to read it because it's for the Backlist Readathon, but I am nervous, and I might consider like just unhauling it or DNFing quicker if it weren't for this blog. I may still DNF quicker, but anyway, so that's my answer. I feel like I have like curated a bunch of booktubers that I either know, like I know our similarities and dissimilarities. And so like based on their review of a book, I will either like hurry to pick it up or not pick it up. But it's not necessarily like they've directly said like, don't read this. So, next is number 2. Has Booktube opened your mind or changed your mind about any genre? So yes, I would say horror is something that I would have said I would never read, but now I'm realizing like the line between thriller, which are some of my favorites, and horror is very gray. And so there are some books that I have read that are horrors that if I just was looking at genres on Goodreads, I would probably never pick it up because of that. But because of Booktube, I have like become more open to it. And same with sci-fi, fantasy, dystopian. I'm realizing that like time travel is sci-fi, and that's something I like. Dystopian is something I'm actually really liking. And so yeah, definitely a lot of genres I have kind of opened my mind to a little bit more. I also feel like Booktube is part of the reason I'm not in my romance era as much is just because like there's a lot, I follow a lot of romance booktubers, and I'm realizing like by vicariously reading through other people, I'm realizing like some things that I don't like in romance, and like they are helping me refine my taste, I guess is what I'm saying. Number 3, how much time did you spend on YouTube before Booktube, and how much time do you spend on it now? So that's a great question. Before I was on Booktube or anything, I didn't spend any time. I didn't know that like YouTube, I didn't even know about YouTube, honestly. But back in 2017, I think it was like the end of 2017, and my sister had a channel, and so she was like doing a buddy read or something, and I was like, you're doing a what? With who? How? And so I started watching Booktube, started making videos, I got pregnant with my first daughter, and things just kind of went downhill. So, and then I kind of watched for a while while, I watched a handful of channels until 2019, December of 2019, when I started my channel back up and really got immersed. And so now I work out for about an hour every morning, and I watch YouTube the entire time. If I'm ever like able to have something going while I'm making dinner or something, I'll watch YouTube, because it's something that like I can't, like, I love just zoning out on people's videos, and like I feel a social element, which we'll talk about later, but like I feel a social element even though there's like I'm just watching people, but you know, I feel like I know them, and I feel like I have people working out with me or hanging out, making dinner with me, and I love that. Okay, sorry if the camera angle kind of changed. I had to get the girls ready for swimming and ran out of time. But number 4. How many books did you read per month or per year before before Booktube, and how many do you read now? So before Booktube, I don't know. I mean, I definitely only read physically, and so it was one every week or two or so. So maybe 50 a year. Now I read like 300 a year because I've really fallen in love with audiobooks. My life has also changed quite a bit, and so I don't know how much of that is like because of Booktube or just because of life changes, because like I said before, Booktube was also before kids. It was just a totally different stage of life that I was in then than I am now. But Booktube definitely has like influenced that a lot, because I get FOMO about books. I love like vlogs and reading projects and TBRs and readathons and buddy reads and all the things. And so FOMO about books as well as like project reading makes me feel good, and reading just makes me feel like it's escapism, but it makes me feel productive in a season of life where productivity is hard to come by, because right now I've got 3 little kids, and so a lot of my day is spent just trying to keep up, like just trying to make sure everybody's fed, alive, not killing each other. Like that's it, you know, basically making sure we have clothes to wear, food to eat, all, you know, it's not like super productive. And so reading gives me something that it's like, oh, well, I finished a book. That makes me feel good. So Booktube has definitely influenced the amount I read, but life has also done that a lot. Number 5, has Booktube affected your book buying habits? And if so, are you pleased or displeased? Holy moly, yes. In fact, when I first joined Booktube, my sister was like in the buying phase where she would buy a bunch of books and things, and I was like, why? Why do you need that? Like, when you've got a Kindle, you've got the library, like what's the need to own books? And now, as you can see, I understand the need. So I think part of that is Booktube, because like I like to have the books to talk about, and like some of my favorites I like to keep to have the potential to reread, but also to just share about. Like, I have fallen in love with sharing books, and that's a lot easier to do when you have physical copies. The other thing is COVID. COVID impacted that a lot because libraries shut down and you couldn't get physical books. And you guys, I far and beyond prefer to read physically. And so not being able to read physical books, not being able to get copies of them really like stressed me out. And I am just comforted like by having books around. So I don't like the chaos of my shelves right now, but it's more like it would be more chaotic to me to have empty shelves than to have overfull shelves. Like, something about that just feels right. So, which is totally not how I am in everything else. In everything else, I'm like, if we don't use it, get rid of it. Minimalism at its best. I mean, I'm not a minimalist, but clutter stresses me out. But for some reason with books, I feel like it's comforting, and I don't know what that is. But so my book buying habits have gone a little crazy. And I've also discovered things like thrift books and Pango books and all those kind of things that make book buying so easy and so cheap. I'm also in an area now that has a lot more book sales. Like, I've always been a bargain shopper, and I still am a bargain shopper. But now there's a lot more places that have bargain books. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of things have changed my book buying habits, and I'm okay with it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm okay with it. Next is, let's see, has a review by a booktuber ever retroactively made you consider your stance on a book? So Yes. And again, I'm kind of answering these in general because I can't think of any one person who has completely changed my mind about a book, but always hearing other people's perspectives on books that you've read makes me think like, oh, okay, I can see that. I can see that. And maybe it makes me like it a little bit more, or like I can see then maybe some of the bad sides if I loved it. I sometimes I'm kind of wishy-washy about things, but normally I have my opinion and I know, but in general, like, yes. And I feel like that's my favorite part about buddy reading is just getting to see different perspectives and hearing different views on the same thing and seeing how, I mean, because your life stance and your past experiences and all that shapes everything you look at, including the books you read. And so hearing other people's perspectives on the same thing makes it like it always enhances my opinion, we'll say. It doesn't necessarily change my opinion, but it definitely enhances it. Next is number 7. Are there any videos you've been inspired to make after seeing another booktuber's videos? Have you ever felt inspired by another booktuber's style, their video style, book organization style, their personal style, anything? So yes, definitely. And I did a video a couple years ago, I think, that's like Booktube Moms Tell All. I'll link it down below. But I have made some wonderful mom friends here on Booktube that balance and juggle a lot of things, and I'm so inspired by them. And just style wise, yeah, like vlogs, I would say is something that I'm so, and like reading projects, kind of kind of selective vlogs as things that I have like taken from other people. I feel like when you immerse yourself so much in this community, like watching an hour a day and having friends on this platform and stuff, it's natural that you are going to be influenced by a lot of people. And a lot of what we do is not reinventing the wheel, especially myself included. Right now, I'm making the content that's doable for my family. And so that means I don't have a ton of time to be thinking of creative content. And so I would say everything I do is inspired by the community in general. But yeah, Booktube moms, I feel like really inspire me because it's a juggle. How do you manage it all? And there's been different strategies and things that have been given to me. So, yeah, at Books and Lala, of course, she's one of the OGs, and I feel like she is the queen of like creative vlogs. So, tons of inspiration from everybody. Like everybody in this community does it just a little bit differently, and I love that. And so yeah, another thing that I've been like really inspired by, I haven't really done anything with it, but Sarah and Lindsay from Sarah's Nightstand and Lindsay's Little Library, they do Book List Thursday, which is kind of like the new Tag Tuesday. It's not new. They've been doing it for years, but every Thursday they come with some sort of book topic and they both talk about the same thing. And it's similar to Tag Tuesday, except it's not tags. It's different recommendations, different things. And I feel like that is really inspiring and really motivating. And yeah, the Booktube besties in general, like which is Sarah, Lindsay, Krista from Books and Jams, and Amanda from The Curly Reader. I feel like their kind of community on Booktube and the way they have done things is really motivating and really inspiring. And yeah, so lots of love to them. But let's see. Number 8, what are some pressures you feel on your reading life because of your channel? And I really don't feel very many, which you could probably tell by my eclectic taste. Like I am not in any sort of like box or genre or anything like, and I don't really feel any pressure to read anything for anybody. I do feel some pressure just to have content, which means continue to read. But that's self-imposed pressure, and also like have things that are interesting to you guys. So reading some new releases as opposed to just all backlist off my shelf, and not pigeonholing myself into women's fiction and thrillers, which are my favorite, like kind of stepping outside of my box, which I do for me, but also because not everybody loves the same things I love. And so I feel a small amount of pressure, but not much, because you guys are awesome and I know you're here for whatever. Next, number 9, in what way, if any, do you feel the social element of the community has influenced your reading? Do you think about books differently since joining? So the social element is why I do it, you guys. I am an extrovert, and I started this channel December of 2019, so right at the prime time before COVID hit, and then with COVID, I just immersed myself in this. Also, I was pregnant with my second daughter at the time that I started my channel, like back up and consistently. And it gives me a social outlet when there's certain life factors that leave you at home, whether that be COVID, new babies, whatever it is. I feel like the social element has changed my whole ball game. Like, and I read because I want to talk to people about the books. I have this channel because I want to talk to people about books. So my subscribers, other booktubers, whatever, like the social element is why I do it. Reading just for my sake is like, I enjoy it, but it's the social element that keeps me going. And like my mom reads and she doesn't even have Goodreads. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't think I would read very much at all if I didn't have like some sort of social outlet to talk about it, whether that's Goodreads, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Like, I love the social element of it. And so, and now with Pango Books, you guys, I feel like I talk about it in every video, but it's a website where you can sell your books and a lot of booktubers are on it. And so like it almost feels like a book swap among booktubers and friends. And so like the social element is a game changer for me. It is why I do what I do. And do I think about books differently? Yeah, like I definitely feel less like nerdy and ashamed of how many books I read and how much I love to read because there's a whole community of us. And yeah, I don't know, kind of back to that books as productivity thing, but I don't know if that's a life thing or a Booktube thing. I don't know. And then number 10, what impact do you hope your channel will have on the Booktube community and or aspiring booktubers? And so, the book community, I hope you guys just find something inspiring by what I say or helpful or insightful or whatever. Like either I hope I can recommend you books or dissuade you from books, like you said, or like we were talking about earlier. Like I hope that by learning my taste, you can tailor expectations and recommendations for yourself. And for aspiring booktubers, you guys, I just hope that if you are thinking about doing it, just do it. You guys, we are, like, my life is chaos. And you guys know that based on the videos. I film on either my Mac computer or my phone. No lighting, no sound, nothing fancy. And I've got 3 little kids that are almost always screaming or doing something in the background. Like, everything I do is messy. And it's just what works in this season of life. And so if anything, I want to be the person that lets you know if I can do it, you can do it. Because yeah, and it doesn't have to look perfect. The point is talking about the books and the things that you love and sharing it with the people who love it too and having a community. And so, yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. And I hope to inspire you. If anybody wants to ask questions or any of that, let me know. I'm happy to help anybody because I would love to be one of these channels that's super creative, super well edited, super just awesome at everything. But that's not the case. That's just not the season of life I'm in right now. I'm really, really happy if I can get 2 videos a week that are important to me. They may not be the best edited. They may not be the most perfectly tailored for growing a channel or any of that. In fact, they're not. I know they're not. But they fulfill something in me and they allow like the social connection. So, yeah. That's what I hope is just to provide a friend to like, I feel like I love the idea of just hanging out and talking about books. I wish we had some coffee and could do it in person. So hopefully I can be like a virtual friend to you and provide you some reading motivation or inspiration or something. And if you want to start a channel, please do. Stakes or like bar is low, guys. So that is the Under the Influence tag. Sarah, I just love that you did this. I don't even know how old this tag is, but yeah, I'm not going to tag anybody because do it if you want to. I would love to hear your answers. So that is everything. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.